Hello and welcome to the how-to videos by Omega Discovery. This video is about how to produce documents in Eclipse. Before we move further, please ensure you have a proper documents saved search for the documents you'd like to produce, as you will be using that search in order to finish producing. You can add a search in the advanced search panel. We begin under the case administration panel on the left-hand side. If you do not see this panel, please seek your administrator's help to add this for you if you should have been given this permission. Look for the export option below the initial case admin dropdown. On the right of the panel is where you'll be working on once it's been opened. In order to add a new export, we need to click on the plus sign. In order to not confuse anyone further, I'll just use the word produce wherever export normally would be used for this video only. Okay, let's get started. First thing we do is under the Information tab, in which we name our production and date it so that we can keep track of what we've done before. We're going to name this Production Demo 1. You can click on the little date symbol to open up a date box, or you can input it manually. Now we add an output location. This is where you'd like your documents to be saved. There is a Browse File button. You can select to look for the folder you'd like, but please ensure that the actual link display is in UNC format. UNC is a more accurate locator so that there is no mishaps. For our sample, we'll just be picking from the Browse File button. Before moving on to the next section, add notes to your production for your team if you so choose to do so. We'll add not in UNC format to ours. Next is the Numbering Options tab. Here you can choose Bates numbering, numbering types, prefix, and many more options for your documents. We'll just go down the list of our options. Bates numbering. Here you can continue your previous numbering if you are continuing production, or you can start a new one. Select the export to continue which numbering system you had. Click OK. If you don't have to choose it from here. You can just leave it blank. You can click your document numbering type, create by number, or use image priority. Now the numbering type, you can choose from basic or advanced numbering. Basic numbering means that you have limited option on how you'd like to set up your Bates numbers. Numbering type. You can pick between basic numbering or advanced numbering. Basic numbering means that you have a limited option how you'd like to set up your Bates numbers, whereas in advanced, you have a few more options, and I'll show you the differences in a little bit. Under basic numbering and advanced, you can choose a prefix. For this sample, we'll just do PHX for ours, and you can also choose a prefix delimiter between underscore, hyphen, and period. I'm going to choose underscore for our sample. You can also choose your starting page for your Bates labeling and choose your page width, which means just how many zeros you'd like a page buffer for your numbering system. Below is how it will look as far as our Bates number label goes. See, we chose Phoenix, our delimiter, our page number that's starting with, and the number amount, which is 8 places. The difference in advanced numbering is that you can choose your starting document, not just your page. So here's my starting document at 1, and my document width at 8. You can notice the difference in our sample on how our Bates label will change. This makes our labeling much more complex. For our sample, we'll just keep it basic. Now let's move over to the production numbering fields. This is how you choose to have your production numbering written back in your database. If you're just exporting and not creating an actual production, do not make any selections here. Leave it blank. In the Begin Bates and End Bates area, please choose the Production Begin Doc and End Doc from the drop-down of the metadata fields. We're going to quickly scroll through all of our options, and look for the production begdoc, meaning the beginning document. And the same here for production enddoc, for the end document. Now in the begin attachment baits and end attachment baits, you can do the same thing, scroll through the metadata fields and look for production beg attach and production end attach. Oops, excuse me. You can add a custom field by choosing anything that you want here, and then it'll allow you to add a custom text to it. The next option is your output locations. Let's scroll down so you can get a better look. Within this tab, there are two main options for placement holders, one here in images and then the next in text. You also have the option to include natives in this production. Below these are a few more boxes of options. Let's look at the first few options in the output location tab first and move down from there. Natives. Checkmark the native box if you would like to produce native documents within your production. Here you will get the chance to name your file by using a new number, which is a production number assigned above, an appending file or tag name, or by using a field, which is helpful if you want the native to keep its original name. You can check mark the box to exclude redacted natives, and below that there's another button to choose to produce only specific native options. In images, check mark the image box if you would like to produce image documents with your production. Choose image type to produce these documents in. Your options are single page or multi-page image, single page or multi-page PDFs, searchable single page, and multi-page PDFs that are searchable as well. Check mark the box for placeholder missing images. If you want placeholders for missing images, you can also add a text to that placeholder. Text. Checkmark the text box if you'd like to produce your document in text format. Choose between document level text and page level text. Document level text means when you're producing with this option, Eclipse will clump your entire document together. Page level means when you're producing with this option, Eclipse will save your documents in a single page level. For example, in your directory structure, it will show production and file category by document in a clump if you choose document level text, or it will split each page individually and save it that way with page level text. Please keep in mind that if you're looking to run a full processing job, then check marking all boxes, native, image, and text file, is needed. If not, then please choose between native and or text in order to produce documents at all. You must choose one. Next up on the Output Location tab is the Load File and Output Location and how you'd like to structure your directory for production. Click on the Select button to choose a new load file type. Then click on the Select Fields and Tags button. Here you will select exactly which fields and tags you'd like to produce. We're just going to choose 4 quickly. Now select your encoding. By default, ASCII is selected. There's also Unicode and UTF-8. Choose which code conversion you'd prefer. We'll leave ASCII as default for this sample. You can also select your date format. These are your options in the drop-down. Select your file path. Relative is default, but you also have the option between absolute and custom. Next is your volume information, where we begin to see exactly how the directory will show for your production. Let's scroll down so you can get a better look. Add a volume prefix. To the right hand side, you will see the changes that I make here. We're going to name this demo. Add a starting number. This is defaulted to 1. Add a volume number width. It's defaulted to 3. But this means you can choose how large you'll allow for a number buffer in your zeros. Here. Add a max size, which means how large of a production you'll be allowing. Options are from no limit to 650 megabytes, 700 megabytes, or 4,800 megabytes, which converts to 4.6 gigabytes. We'll leave it at the defaulted no limit. Then it's your folder information. This is to set up exactly how you want your folders set up. As you'll notice here, we have image that corresponds to image, native to native, text to text, but we can name it anything we want. Again, continue down the list of what is pertinent to you. These are all defaults. This number here is 1,000 files per folder allowed. Starting number is 1 for each subfolder, and again the width is 3. Moving on to Image Options tab. Here you will choose redactions and endorsement settings. Redaction options. Choose which redactions you would like to burn by selecting the Burns redaction box and making the proper selections for you. You can even choose a coloring option in the Redaction Options drop-down. Here are your options for color: black with white font, white with black font, black with no label, white with no label, and color. We'll leave the defaulted. This button here you'll click to choose which redactions you actually want to burn. Now we'll move over to endorsement settings. Choose your endorsement type between image key, barcode, field, tag group, or custom text. Then which page we want this endorsement to be applied to, whether all images or first page only. The font size and the location of this endorsement. Your options are top left, top center, top right, bottom left, bottom center, and of course our defaulted bottom right. On the right hand side here is our endorsement mapping to show you exactly how we'll be endorsing on the page. Click on the map endorsement to have a look. Please keep in mind though that in order to have the ability to select any of the image options, you must have selected the box marked image in the Output Location tab to proceed to the image option. You had to have clicked here in the Output Location this image box in order to be able to choose redaction and endorsement settings. Okay, now let's go ahead and save. We're down to the last few steps. On the right hand side here on the top under Export Tools, we have 3 options. The first one is highlighted as Select Documents. As we do each step, the next one will be highlighted. Click on the Select Documents. Select the appropriate saved search you have created for production. You can sort by any metadata fields. You can place it as ascending or descending. Now click on the Validate, which checks for missing images, text, duplicates, and enables the production shield. Here's the production shield. Ours came back with 0, but any issues will be highlighted in red. If you're not familiar, the production shield is an exclusive feature in Eclipse that helps prevent the production of privileged documents to opposing counsel. If you're interested in learning how to set up the production shield, check out our how-to video in our YouTube library. If the validation returns issues, these issues can be exported to a report, overridden to continue production, or simply close it out and look for the issues it posted on the short synopsis of a report. Here, our override button isn't highlighted because our conflict is there's no valid output path. Well, that sums up our how to produce video docs. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us at support@omegadiscovery.com.